give you a real example. I had it when I was working. So it was a holiday in 2009. So Jeddah had a massive flood. Looking at risk management, you usually look at likelihood and severity. So having a flood in a dry country is almost minimum. But when it hit and when it came, it was a disastrous way. So we had passed our first accreditation. I can assure you, if we didn't have an emergency and disaster preparedness in place, and if we didn't have people who were trained and educated how to deal with it, believe me, the outcome could be catastrophic. Luckily, due to the preparedness which we had undergone through Accreditation Canada and being prepared as a team, we never had a flood. We even never had even a drill how to handle a flood. But as I said, having the tools in place and having the awareness and knowledge and having an emergency and disaster preparedness plan, everyone knew what he was supposed to do. And I can have it even with evidences that our hospital was heavily impacted and we never had to shut down the hospital. We kept on running, although the flood came from our basement, which was the weak point in the hospital because the flood came from the basement. The hospital is built on a hill, so it can resist an earthquake, but no one thought about that one. So, and luckily, everything was working. We had only few hours of shutdown, but we kept on working and zero fatalities, zero patient impacted, zero staff injuries. So this is all thanks to Allah and definitely having the EDP in place. What did this help us with? Looking back at our emergency and disaster preparedness, the following year we had the flood. But surprisingly, because we did our homework, we worked on the gaps, which was identified looking at how we should do the emergency and disaster preparedness framework. The next year, having the flood again, our hospital became a shelter to the whole neighborhood instead of being impacted. So the whole neighborhood came to our hospital. We were able and competently able to feed them for 3 consecutive days, feeding clients, feeding people who were coming to the hospital as a shelter from the neighborhood impacted, and we didn't have to use any external resources. Our internal resources were enough to keep all these people in place. Our bed capacity at that time was more than 700 patients were admitted, and we didn't have any challenge operations. Why?